Seems like by the day it's getting even more thick.
Yeah, that's not typical New York City smog for sure.
No, this is again increased because of those extreme wildfires. They've actually had some extreme temperatures in much of Canada, western in particular, but eastern is where those wildfires are occurring, and the pattern is taking all that smoke and bringing it down along the east coast.
Wow.
So that's why. And we'll actually show you why that pattern is probably going to hold in for the next several days. But for us, not too bad. Pretty typical weather here. We've had some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, and if you're lucky enough to get underneath one of these, it does help to cool temperatures. Have some decent thunderstorms kind of moving now south of Hammond, but it does extend into parts of St. Tammany. Had some decent little thunderstorms up around Kentwood as they move toward Amite, falling apart, so maybe a little light rainfall there. Same with the little thunderstorm that was approaching Poplar. Still holding on, but does look like that will start weakening as well. Have had nothing in the metro area. We have been completely quiet. And then down along the coastline, some decent thunderstorms. Again, all below severe limits, but some downpours, frequent lightning, and may see a few pop up, especially later on tonight. We seem to get those right around the water, which is where we have those more typical summertime pattern. Today's high was 91. Record on this date is 95, but as we head later into next week, we may be looking at temperatures in that range. Talking more about that in a moment. Just some fair weather cumulus out over downtown, 89 degrees right now. The dew point at Kenner has not been horrible, 60s. Elsewhere it's been upper 60s or even some lower 70s. But I tell you what, that rainfall really helped. 93 right now in Laplace, but with the rainfall, Hammond is currently at 72. With again a range of dew point 60s to even some lower 70s. But a pretty typical early summertime humidity. This is not the humidity we'll get comes late July, August, early September, but we know that's on the way. Had some pop-up thunderstorms really across much of the Gulf South today. And as we get into the next couple of days, we're going to see this week what we call a backdoor cold front because of the upper pattern along the East Coast. This should help to maybe trigger a few more showers as we head into Friday. Tomorrow's rain chances driven by daytime heating at around 30% and about the same for Friday. So as far as rain chances go the next couple of days, kind of the more hit or miss variety and more pop-up during the afternoon and early evening hours as opposed to any kind of organized system. Very typical of our summertime pattern. And it's actually because of this upper low that will send that weak front our way, but it's also this upper low and the upper pattern. Note where the upper low is centered. More over Maine, New England, and out toward the Canadian Maritimes. This is basically bringing in that smoke from eastern Canada straight into the East Coast, which is why this is like a direct line from those wildfires to New York City and elsewhere along the eastern seaboard. And this pattern is going to hang around for the next several days. So they're not going to get rid of that smoke anytime soon. We're going to be watching, though, as a building ridge out in Mexico as this starts to build in. This basically cuts off any real rain chances. You need vertical growth to get those summertime thunderstorms. High pressure suppresses all of that, so you don't get the rainfall, but what that suppression of air also does is heats up the temperature. So this will likely send our highs into the mid-90s, whereas the last couple of days, yeah, we've seen some lower at times, maybe near mid-90s. I think we're going to see more widespread mid-90s because of this, and our temperature trend will be increasing across much of the Gulf South, especially Texas and Mexico. But with this upper high, we are looking at a temperature trend next week for us to go near records. Now the records looking at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with that upper high building in 96, 97 degrees. I'm not going quite that warm, but we are certainly going to get very, very close to it. Quick check of the tropics, absolutely nothing going on. There was one little area out near Spain that the Hurricane Center had at one time been highlighting with a low end chance. They've removed that and nothing is expected over the next 7 days. That's how we like to keep the early part of the season. We'd like to keep all of the season like that. High temperatures, more lower 90s with spotty showers. May see a little weak upper disturbance, bringing a slightly better chance for some showers on Saturday. And then I'm keeping rain chances out and highs mid-90s heading into next week.
All right, Chris, thank you.